Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the review realm once again. We have another album review for you. This is interesting. This has never happened before on the review realm. We're going to dive into it in just a sec. Before we get there, please hit the like button on this, subscribe to the review realm. It always helps us out when we do album reviews like this as we keep chugging along throughout 2026. And as always, helping me chug out these album reviews, the other half of the review realm, the co host, the SLB. Sam.
Hey guys, yeah, this is a first. Now I think about it, anytime we've ever done reviews, we've never done double, well, I don't want to say double albums because it's a non-double album, but this is the first time we've done two albums from one band in a year.
Yes, this is a first. This is the first time we have covered a band twice in 1 year. We didn't expect this. When they said they were dropping another album, we said, "Really? They're dropping a second album? Interesting." And not too far apart from one another. So of course, we're talking about, like I said, this was a huge surprise to us, but Converge has put out their second album of 2026, their 12th studio album overall. I'm excited about this because this is a first, but it's Hum of Hurt we'll be talking about.
Yeah, just keep in mind, guys, that it was middle of February that we got Love Is Not Enough. So we're looking at a 4 month gap between these albums. I would have figured maybe, October or something like that. No, we got two albums, 4 months.
Yeah, they went right to it, and I will say it's a lot of similarities from Love Is Not Enough here. It seems like they go together quite well, and maybe they were making them around the same time. I'm not sure. Literally like almost the same length. Like this was about 30 minutes, and this was a little bit longer than Love Is Not Enough, like by a couple of minutes or so. I like that. Short and sweet. And I don't think this is as strong as Love Is Not Enough. But Hum of Her, it's really making me like this band a lot more.
Agreed. Actually, I got a little split here. Love Is Not Enough was good. I actually think I might like Hum of Hurt better. So let's, I guess, dive into this.
Let's dive into it. Yeah, like I said, this is short and sweet, which I really like when bands do this now. And one single, the title track, which that does not happen anymore. Usually, it's like 4 to 6 singles, like a year in advance of when the album is released. This Converge didn't do that. And interesting title track choice. It's not my favorite on the album. What did you think, Sam?
No, it wasn't bad. I mean, it was a single. It it was good. It definitely wasn't my favorite. Interesting choice again. I Singles are usually towards the beginning of the album. I always find it fascinating when they pull them from like the end of an album.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
this was unlike Love Is Not Enough, where the title track was at the beginning. This is towards the end, and they've decided to make this the title of the album for some reason in the single. Um, but literally, like in Converge, regular Converge, Fasten is right out the gate with Slip the Noose, straight to the point. It sets the tone. I felt like it was a little proggy at times on this.
um, I was getting some mathcore vibes. So this is why I probably enjoy this album more because the other album, little metalcore, probably more hardcore, punky, and this had a lot. I felt more mathy with this one. I'm again. I know they're older than this band, but I'm still yearning for like some Dillinger in my life, some new Dillinger, and you get the right band to do the right thing, and it. I think this kind of satisfied a little bit of that mathcore urge for me.
Funny enough, Sam, that's who I thought of as I was listening to this. I thought of Dillinger Escape Plan on this. It's
Mm-hmm.
immediately with Slip the News. I was like, yeah, this feels like Dillinger, and I probably have various things. What I like about Converge is that I like that each song has a different feel to it, and they seem to have a diversity to them that you would not expect.
They vary within the elements of core. So it's not like they're doing like a country album or they're doing a pop album or they're doing this. Like I said I think the other album reminded me more of like a hardcore album. This sounds more like a mathcore. When you look at what their description is on Wikipedia, mathcore, metalcore, hardcore, post-hardcore, so they vary, but within that core realm.
Yeah, it's interesting. I really I wish I knew this band better prior, but no, now getting into them, I'm like, okay, um, there's something here that I should explore because they seem to have something, a real big diversity to them. Like I said, each song feels different. Like it only gets worse. It had like a punk feel.
Hmm.
Detonator was an interesting one. I won't let you go. I was like, what is that in that intro? It was a weird guitar sound in there. And then there was a couple of songs on this where the bass was really prominent, which I thought was interesting. Like it's not up to us.
Hmm.
And
Nothing is
honestly,
over is another one.
my personal favorite on the album, Sam, is Dream Debris. Um, had
Hmm.
a tribal feeling to it, like that bass line that's prominent in the entire song, and it's the longest song on the album too. But it's just something about it stood out to me, and that was my personal favorite.
It's tough because I did like It's Not Up to Us, Detonator, Doom and Bloom. Maybe Doom and Bloom is like my favorite on this one. Very because I think those first two tracks again very mathy, so it went like back to back, and I was all in. By the second song. I'm like, this is gonna be solid.
Yeah, I'm all for this band. If they want to keep doing this going forward, let them do it. I really like this band now. I'm gonna have to check out some of their older stuff and see how it falls in line with this. I really I it's like I said, it's not as strong as Love Is Not Enough, but I still thought it was pretty solid. I was happy with it. The production on it uh, was good, and another similarity too that it had from Love Is Not Enough is it had like that creepy, eerie instrumental song that was in there towards the end. It used to matter. I forget what one was on
Hmm.
Love Is Not Enough, but I really liked that where it was just a creepy feeling. It had a lot of similarities from Love Is Not Enough.
I'm looking right here. I couldn't even tell you. I'd have to go back. Was it Beyond Repair?
It might have been that
I
one.
don't know.
I think Love Is Not Enough. It was towards the end, or no, it might have been Gilded Cage. Um,
I thought it was in the middle somewhere. I don't know. We're gonna have to listen to these albums back to back because I do agree with you, especially like Nothing Is Over. You mentioned it kind of like a bass, like a front bass. It gets kind of slow and it's kind of dreary and kind of creepy. Um, and I know one of the things that we had an issue with this year is the way albums end.
yeah.
And I'll tell you right now, I really like the way this album ended with this track.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I thought it was okay. I like it was decent. I didn't think it was the strongest ending. Um, but I did think the album was solid overall. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go back. I didn't have time, and I unfortunately I don't keep my notes for older albums, for albums we've already done. But I feel like what I want to do is I want to listen to these albums front to back, and see how they go in line with one another.
Mhm.
Would you want to do the same?
Oh, these two albums?
Yeah,
That was originally going to be my goal, but time permitted did not happen. But I also agree with that.
yeah, yeah. This was great. I like this. It's short and sweet, like we've said, like I said a bunch of times. That's our thoughts on Converge's second album of 2026. Please go check out our review of Love Is Not Enough earlier this year, and thanks for joining us on our review of Hum of Hurt. That's all the time we have. Thanks for joining us, everyone. And as always, do not forget to join the Bedlam.